the harsh the harsh life inside North Korea's pleasure squad. That sounds fucked up. North Korea is fucked up. I'm thinking I'm gonna like this. By oddities. Alright, let's subscribe and watch a fucking video.
Proud to be selected as pleasure squad.
Every region have to submit a girl who is a virgin and who is pretty.
I was cut
That's a good fucking selection process, me boys. She has to be a virgin and she has to be pretty. And you have to send it once a year, bitch. Once a year.
completely cut off from any life outside the villa.
Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a dark and secretive aspect of North Korea. Kim Jong
Dictators done right. This is how you motherfucking do dictating right.
Un's Pleasure Squad, a group of young women selected for their beauty and forced into a life of servitude to entertain the North Korean elite. Join us as we delve into the harsh reality of life inside Kim Jong-un's Pleasure Squad, recruitment and selection process. The secretive recruitment process for Kim Jong-un's Pleasure Squad is as meticulous as it is disturbing. It begins with rigid criteria for selection, focusing primarily on age, appearance, and family background.
What do you think his age preference is? I'm gonna say he's probably like a sick fuck. So probably 16 through 25.
The age range for these recruits is typically between 14 and 25 years.
Oh, I was spot the fuck on, except for I said 16. He was 14. 14, motherfucker. So I should have bet money on that shit, but hey, loser
Chosen
club.
at an age where they are seen as most impressionable and malleable to the regime's demands. Appearance plays a crucial role. The regime seeks out
Hey, it's what his discretion is. He likes cute, beautiful women, that's him. Or if he likes butterball faces, that's him. Everybody got their own fucking flavor. Some people like fat bitches being sitting on them. Not my cup of tea, but hey, it's somebody's cup of tea.
young women who are considered
That bitch is pretty hot.
conventionally attractive by their standards. The phase of scouting and approaching is conducted with a degree of discretion that verges on being an underground operation. Scouts, often working under the guise of government officials, identify potential candidates through schools, performances, and sometimes even in public.
All those Asian women are pretty hot. And I would never want to be in North Korea.
Places. The approach is usually indirect, with
But I can respect that, man. He knows how to be a fucking proper dictator.
families being initially contacted under different pretexts that are seemingly unrelated to the actual purpose. Once a candidate is earmarked, the initial screening process begins. This phase is exhaustive and invasive. Physical checks are conducted to ensure that the candidates meet the specific health and beauty standards the regime sets. These examinations are often humiliating and invasive, with reports suggesting that they include checks for virginity, which is a compulsory criterion.
Yeah, you don't want nobody touching it first. You're the dictator. You have first claim of that beauty. Like, what the fuck? You don't know how to live extravagantly? You don't know how to abuse your power? Of course, this man.
Background checks are equally rigorous. The regime dives deep into the family history of each candidate, examining their loyalty to the state, and ensuring that there are no ties or past incidents that could indicate a risk of dissent or rebellion.
Good indoctrination. Good.
This thorough vetting process is not just about finding the most suitable candidates for the squad, but also about ensuring that these individuals and their families are less likely to pose a threat to Kim Jong-un's authority.
Damn straight, you indoctrinate them and their entire family. You make loyal subjects, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. He's doing perfect dictatorship 101, and he's doing whatever the fuck he wants, and I respect it.
And to check their loyalty. The recruitment and selection process
I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying he's doing it right.
for the Pleasure Squad is proof of the lengths the North Korean regime will go to maintain control and create an environment of complete loyalty and subservience around its leader, life inside the squad. The training regimen for members of Kim Jong-un's Pleasure Squad is as comprehensive as it is demanding. It goes far beyond mere physical appearance, encompassing a wide range of skills necessary to entertain.
I bet role playing is on one of them. 100%. An assassination or some kind of combat role. I know this motherfucker likes some fucking G.I. Joe Jane bitch type deal. You know what I mean?
And serve the elite of North Korea. The women undergo rigorous training in various forms of etiquette, learning the intricacies of serving tea, dining manners, and the proper way to converse in the presence of high-ranking officials. Entertainment skills are also a critical component of their training. They are taught to sing, dance, and sometimes play musical instruments, ensuring they can perform at any event they are required to attend. The daily life of these women is marked by strict schedules and routines which designed to keep them isolated and under constant control.
That's fucking wild, dude. Literally turn these people into fucking NPCs, all of them.
They live in specialized housing, often within or near Kim Jong-un's residences. These living conditions are heavily monitored, with every aspect of their lives, from what they eat to how they spend their free time, being scrutinized. Their days are filled with training sessions, rehearsals, and preparations for performances.
I wouldn't be able to live like that, dude. Be that watched over like a fucking pig. I'm Gucci.
Contact with the outside world, including their families, is severely restricted, keeping them completely dependent on the regime. The role of Kim Jong-un's wife, Ri Sol-ju, in this setup is complex and somewhat conflicting. Despite being the wife,
He loves her, but he don't love her. You know what I mean? He loves her. That's his bottom bitch. He stays with her. That's his arm piece. That's his candy. That's his Chanel bag. You know what I mean? And he got all these other bitches for when he has the urges. You know? He can't. He's a fucking god emperor. You can't expect him to stay with one woman. Oh my god! Learn your dictatorship 101.
wife of North Korea's leader, her influence over the pleasure squad is limited. Reports suggest that she herself lives under strict rules and surveillance, similar to those imposed on the squad members. This dynamic points to a broader theme within the regime: the subjugation and control of women, regardless of their status. Ri Sol-ju's interactions with the pleasure squad are likely formal and monitored, with little opportunity for genuine connection or influence. This situation paints a picture of not just the women in the
She's doing her thing. Sit back, look pretty, collect the bag, and hopefully you don't get fed to wild dogs. You know what I mean? Like, this man, his father and his grandfather fucking secured the bag generationally, and they did the dictatorship right. And I'm fully impressed and in awe about it, and I'm jealous. Because who wouldn't want to be in fucking God mode? That's exactly what he's doing right now. Motherfuckers in God mode playing with a bunch of NPCs.
squad, but also Kim Jong-un's wife as prisoners within a luxurious yet oppressive system. The pleasure squad's existence and the conditions under which its members live reveal the dark underbelly of the North Korean regime, where even the most privileged women are subjected to control and manipulation. The dark reality. The financial aspects of maintaining Kim Jong-un's pleasure squad highlight the regime's extravagant and disturbing priorities. Reports, including those by The Sun,
Bro, his family let his people starve to fucking death, and when the United Nations came in to help feed them, it was a setup. It was a setup village. It was the same fucking people. You know what I mean? It was just moved around a little bit, and that's why they stopped helping them. I'm probably explaining this terribly, but propaganda is king in that place, and they're doing it perfectly, and I am impressed. Color me impressed, bro.
suggest an astounding $3.8 million spent on lingerie alone, imported from China, showcasing a lavish lifestyle starkly contrasted against North Korea's widespread poverty. This excessive spending on luxury items for the pleasure squad is a grim reminder of the regime's skewed resource allocation in a country plagued by economic challenges. The nature of the parties and events the pleasure squad
The man's doing what he wants with the money he gets. You know what I mean? He's the fucking absolute fucking law of the place. He lays it down, and it's the way he wants.
members are required to attend is both extravagant and unsettling. As detailed in various reports, including those by Mi Hyang, a defector who claimed to have been part of the squad,
I highly doubt that. Bitch is ugly. But continue.
These gatherings often involve singing,
If that was the fucking woman that was in question.
dancing, and participating in a range of bizarre and sometimes sexually explicit activities. The parties, lasting into the early hours, are not just about entertainment.
Honestly, I wonder what excites this man. He has everything at his fingertips that he could want. What excites this man? What makes him his jolly goes? You know, what wild sick shit does he do, or is he somebody that's actually very like traditional? You know what I mean? Get inside the people's mind. What do they really like?
Entertainment, but also about exerting control and power, often ending in erotic games and at times, even sex parties.
Everybody likes a good orgy.
Such events, described by Kim Il-sung's nephew Lee Il-nam in his memoir, paint a picture of corruption and exploitation under the guise of entertainment. Professor Toshimitsu Shigemura, a North Korea expert at Tokyo's Waseda University,
That's how every dictatorship has to work. Everything's corrupt. Everybody gets paid underneath the table, so everything goes the way you want it. You know what I mean? Simple. Boom, bam, boom.
explains, this has been going on under 3 generations of the Kim family. He views it as a demonstration of the leader's power over the people and his sexual power. The psychological and physical challenges faced by the members of the pleasure squad are grave. The pressure to constantly please and be at the beck and call of North Korea's elite takes a significant toll on their mental health. The constant surveillance.
Oh no shit, you're just a piece of meat. You're supposed to entertain and pleasure. That's the only purpose of the whole thing, hence the pleasure squad, bitch. You live in a dictatorship. Escape or learn the role.
Lack of privacy, and the knowledge of the inescapable nature of their situation lead to immense psychological stress. Physically, the demands placed on them, including the invasive medical examinations they undergo before joining the squad, as reported by defectors, add to their plight. Living under such conditions where their bodies and minds are not their own leads to long-term trauma and emotional distress, the effects of which likely last well beyond their time in the squad. The pleasure squad's existence is a dark reality within the North Korean regime. It represents the extreme control.
You think this is bad? Just imagine some of the other throughout history. I'm just saying, there's been worse fucking dictators in the world.
Exerted over individuals, particularly women, and highlights the contrast between the lavish lifestyles of the elite and the struggles of the general population. Behind the smiles. The true stories from defectors and sources about life inside Kim Jong-un's pleasure squad are far more harrowing than the public image might suggest. The Sun reported the revival of this dark tradition under Kim Jong-un, with some members allegedly as young as 13. Defector Mi Hyang, who claimed to be part of the squad, shared her story of being recruited at 15, detailing
I didn't pause it on a pleasurable fucking scene, but that's wild, dude.
The invasive inspections and the shame she felt. These personal accounts paint a picture of a life filled with exploitation and fear, contrary to the public mask of glamour and privilege. Contrasting with this public image, the reality of the pleasure squad is one of control and abuse.
Well,
the squad is often...
You have to make the cattle do what you want. You have to understand, in these people's point of mind, these ain't people. These are NPCs. These are cattle. These are the masses. You get them to do what you want.
And showcased as a symbol of luxury and extravagance in North Korea, a sign of the regime's power and wealth. However, the stories from defectors reveal a different, darker side. The women are not only subjected to physical and emotional hardships, but are also trapped in a system from which escape is nearly impossible. The pressure to conform and please the elite, combined with the threat of severe consequences for disobedience, creates an environment of constant anxiety and fear. The difference between
what they're trying to create is a good sex slave, dude. I understand that.
Public perception and the actual experiences of the pleasure squad members is stark. On the one hand, there's the regime's narrative of these women living a life of luxury and honor, serving their leader. On the other, there are the chilling accounts of exploitation, forced participation in degrading activity.
Well, on one hand they are, but on the other hand they're paying a price for it. You know what I mean? Equivalent exchange, as they say.
And a lack of autonomy over their bodies and lives. This contrast highlights not only the oppressive nature of the North Korean regime, but also the extent to which it goes to mask the grim realities under a veneer of opulence and pride. The stories from the Pleasure Squad, covered in secrecy and fear, offer a glimpse into the hidden world of oppression within North Korea. It's a world where smiles and luxury hide a much more sinister reality that continues to affect the lives of many young women in the country. Conclusion. In exploring
Are those clappers for the clap? What the fuck? That's wild.
Kim Jong-un's Pleasure Squad, we've uncovered the disturbing realities behind an illusion of
Honestly, if I was a fucking dictator that had a whole country at my becking, damn straight I have a pleasure squad. Who wouldn't? A male, female, I'm pretty sure everybody would.
luxury. Young women select
Especially if you grew up in that as a little kid. You know what I mean? Of course he's not fucking mentally sane as everybody else. He probably has fucking, like I said, what gets his rocks off is probably wild as shit. You never know.
selected for their looks and loyalty, endure rigorous training and strict control, far removed from the glamorous image portrayed publicly. This contrast reflects the oppressive nature of Kim's regime, using the squad as a tool for political gain while violating basic human rights. It's a gilded prison, symbolizing the broader human rights issues in North Korea.
Very informative video. I'll fuck with it. I might be a little fucked in the head because I thought it was a little funny, but hey, that's just me.